Right.
Good morning, all. Hope you are able to hear me. Yes, no. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Naveen.
Thanks for the confirmation. You are able to see the screen, I believe. Okay.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. So last week we discussed about again a few things. Basics only last two sessions we have discussed, and same time today and tomorrow also we'll discuss basic things only of SAP. Okay. Okay. We already discussed. Any questions before I start? Any questions from your end before I proceed?
Naveen, I have a doubt, Naveen.
Please.
I really didn't understand what is ERP and ECC.
That's what I'm going to discuss now. What is ERP?
Okay.
Okay. And next,
ECC.
yeah, that is also we are going to discuss.
Okay.
And
That's it.
okay. And let me, is it in recording? Okay. So let me talk about now. So already we are discussing from the previous 2 to 3 sessions. What is SAP, what is SAP, and what? Clear? Kindly mute. If you are not talking, kindly mute yourself. So here our topic is SAP, and I said that ERP. Correct? SAP ERP. Okay. What do you mean by E stands for here? Enterprise. E stands for again. If somebody, again, I have repeated, it is E stands for enterprise. What do you mean by enterprise? SAP is the number one ERP, as I said that. Right? There are thousands of lakhs of ERPs are there in the market. But out of that, whatever maybe the ERPs are available in the market, out of that, the number one ERP is SAP. So first of all, before understanding SAP, what exactly ERP will do, right? What kind of system is this ERP system, right? So why SAP is considered as a number one in the entire ERP sector? Clear? So yeah, that we will discuss. Okay. Okay. So what do you mean by enterprise? SAP is an ERP. What do you mean by enterprise? Enterprise can be, okay. What is, see, E stands for enterprise. E stands for enterprise. Okay. So what exactly enterprise? E stands for enterprise in E. Okay. And enterprise means what exactly? Clear? Enterprise means an entity. Enterprise means entity. What exactly entity means? Entity could be anything, a company. Correct? It could be a firm, right? It could be a business. Okay. It could be a company, it could be a firm, it could be an organization. It could be an organization. Okay. So anything is considered as an entity. Anything is considered as an entity. Entity means in and E stands for enterprise. Enterprise is nothing but an entity. What do you mean by an entity? Entity could be anything. That can be a company, that can be a firm, that can be a business, that can be an organization. Clear? So next I'll come what exactly the entity is. Already we discussed, but still I'll come. R. R stands for resources. Resources. What do you mean by resources? So for any organization, for any company, for any firm, for any business, what are its resources? What are its resources? Okay. What do you mean by resources? Resources are nothing but, what are the resources? Resources are nothing but men, right? Any business, any company or any firm, any business, any organization, does they require men or not? without men, can they perform any activity or any transaction? Absolutely no, right? Compulsory, every business, every organization, every firm, every company need to have its men, right? Nothing but in economic terminology, we call it as a factors of production. In economic terminology, in commercial terminology, we are calling it as an ERP, right? Right here in economics terminology, we call it as a factors of production, right? What do you mean by factors of production? To produce one product, we need different factors like your land, labor, right? Capital, right? And next one, and organization. This is economic terminology, right? To produce anything, we require the land, we need a labor, we need a capital, and we need an organization, right? So who controls these three? That is known as a management. Organization is nothing but a management. Clear? So these are mandatory to produce any product or any service. These need to be there. Without this, it is not possible. So in the same way, in ERP environment, one second. Okay. In ERP environment, we required this for resources, right? What do you mean by resources here? We required men, nothing but your labor, okay? Men, money, right? Marketing, machine, right? So these are the different resources. We call it as a resources. These are nothing but resources, okay? What are the resources? Man, money, marketing, machine. Okay. So whatever, you can take this 4 M's, we call it as an, right? Next one, man, 5 M's. Nothing but next one, man and management. 5 M's. Management. Right? So men, money, marketing, money is nothing but your capital, right? Marketing, machine, and management. To produce a raw material, machinery is required, right? Employees are nothing but your men, and customers, vendors, all the stuff will come under men. Okay. And planning. Okay. What do you mean by P? In ERP, P stands for planning. Planning. Clear? What is this plan? What do you mean by planning here? So, how to utilize the available resources, right? In an organization, in a company, right? In any firm, in any organization, how to utilize the available resources, okay? Fuller extent by maximizing the profit and minimizing the losses, then that is called a planning, right? So it explains in a P, planning, how to utilize the available resources in fuller extent, okay, by maximizing the profit and minimizing the loss, right? Every organization main aim is to maximize the profit, right? So how they need to plan, right? And one feature of ERP is the planning, right? So same thing, where we can get the losses? If we are not utilizing properly labor, if you are not utilizing your capital properly, then it is a failure. If it is not utilizing the marketing, we are not able to do marketing properly, then it is a failure, result in failure. If you are not able to utilize your available machines, right, for the production, then that is, and if management is inefficient, then the entire resource will be get affected. So that is the reason your ERP is considered as this one: enterprise, resource, and planning. So any organization, any business, so these three terminologies are very, very, very important. Clear? It's a general, right? So this is ERP. So here there is this ERPs are divided. The softwares are divided into two different ways. The softwares are divided into two different ways. One is centralized systems, decentralized. I'm not taking much. Already I have explained this. Decentralized system softwares. And next one, centralized system softwares. Centralized system softwares. If you call it as any software, right? So that is divided into two types. That could be a decentralized system software. Another one is centralized system software, right? Only two types of software. We don't have any other software apart from this, right? Either that could be a decentralized system software or centralized system software. So what do you mean by decentralized software? Right? If I am having a different departments, if I'm having different in my business, as I said that in my organization, in my company, in my firm, in my business, we have a different departments. Okay, we have a different departments. Clear? We have a different departments. And each department, for example, if I take department, right? Finance department, right? HR department, right? Marketing department, right? Sales department, a production department, sales department, tax department. Like this, we have a different departments, and all departments are working under one organization or one company or one firm, right? Or one under one business, right? So each department is working for any one of the above. Then each and every department are interdependent with other departments. Clear? Each and every department is interdependent on other departments. So here HR department, marketing department, production department, sales department, tax department need to be linked with the finance department. Because if there is no finance department, the functionality of HR, marketing, production, sales, tax system will not work. Right? In the same way, means whatever finance department information is there, that should be flow to all other departments. Right? And next one, whatever HR department needs, they will recruit the people, they will recruit the employees. So for example, finance department is running short of employees, 2 employees or 3 employees. Marketing department is also running short of employees, and production department is also running short of employees. So here they are maintaining, for example, finance department is need 3 people, marketing department need 5 people, and production department need 1 employee, right? So 1 employee. So here the data they are maintaining, production department they are maintaining, they need an employee of 1, they need an employee of 5, they need an employee of 3. So here they are maintaining their data individually. Means each and every department maintains their own data. Okay. And this data is not flowing from one department to another department. Means they are maintaining their own data. Right? So until the finance department raise a request to HR department, till that HR department can't take the action. Right? So here probably HR department will not have access to check the data of finance department or marketing department or any other department. Clear? So what happens here? This happens only with the decentralized system softwares. Means each department will work on its own. The communication will not flow from one department to another department. Clear? So that kind of software, we call it as a decentralized system software. So earlier, prior to 2000, in India especially, before globalization, majority companies or majority local companies used to follow decentralized system softwares. But when the globalization came into the picture, so the boom started for centralized system softwares. Clear? What do you mean by a center? Means the data will be maintained in decentralized system. Each and every department will have their own data. Clear? But centralized system software is nothing but the data will be maintained centrally. Means a common, right? And each department will have access to that centralized system. Clear? Here there is a decentralized system, means every department will have their own data. But in centralized system software, okay, the data will be stored in centralized system, so that every department will go and check the information from centralized system. So here finance department will update their information in centralized system. HR department will update their data in centralized system. Marketing department update their data in centralized system, so that whenever they required employees, so marketing department will update here, HR department will update here, production. So finance department will update here, HR department will come and check. So how many employee requirement is there for each department, so that what they will do, they will announce. Okay, first they will check internally if any IJPs are there, then that will do, or they will start doing external recruitment. So that what happens, on time they can recruit. On time they can recruit, and they will engage into their organization, different departments. Clear? So that is called centralized system software. So ERPs are considered as a centralized system software. ERPs are nothing but a centralized system. Means number of departments will be there in ERP, right? And each department or each center will update its information in central system, so that everyone can have an access. Each department will have an access to that centralized system. Clear? So that is possible from the globalization onwards. Clear? So here, even though there are few ERPs are there, they are claiming it as an ERP, but that is not totally an ERP. I'll tell you what are they. So now you understood what is an ERP. Okay. So here, one second. Okay. So normally, again, if I come to centralized, so earlier, every finance department, if I take, they are used to maintain their accounting manual account till 2017. Till 2017, normally in India, if I take till 2017, majority companies, not companies, I can say the businesses, small businesses. Okay, big businesses already they have migrated to their uh, accounting into a software accounting softwares, right? We call it. But few organization, few small businesses, they used to maintain their accounting in manual accounting. But why 2017? Indian tax system got changed from VAT to GST, right? GST. Okay, earlier when VAT was there, so tax forms used to submit manually, right? Before VAT 2005, prior to 2004 and 5, so we had a sales tax system, right? At that particular time also, we used to submit majority things used to done in manually only. But in 2017, okay, Government of India declared that we are abolishing the old tax system, that is VAT system, and they have introduced a new tax system, GST. So what happens with this GST? They have developed one software, okay, that is called GST Suvidha. GST Suvidha. So what is this GST Suvidha? In the sense, this is a pure related to tax software, purely a tax software. Clear? So here every organization